he honors the military, he honors those that they can never be forgotten. Even the lost one was not present. So the tradition of this is that, according to Daily Trust, they gave out the tradition that during the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces inspects the Guard of Honor. He signs the Remembrance Day register and also releases the ceremonial pigeons as a symbol of national peace and freedom. As a symbol of national peace and freedom. So he was absent. He was absent at the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Just like this year at the UAE for the 2025 edition of the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. So at that time, he had, on January 11, left Nigeria to participate in the summit held from January 12 to January 18. This is about 2025. Yes, 2025. So it was just in, like I said, it was just in 2024 that the president personally attended the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. So it's now looking like it's a pattern. So it was allowed last year. And then again, it's been allowed this year. But then people are talking. People are not happy about it. ADC is against it. Some of the civil society groups, they are not in support. They are not in support of this. So the president, like he said, he has not forgotten those people that laid their lives for us. Although some of them, it seems like most of them have been forgotten, because there are so many persons lining up for pensions, asking the government to pay them their allowances. They are not begging for money. They're asking the government to pay them for the service that they render to the country. And some of them die without receiving any of this. So it feels like a lot of them are being taken granted. The government is taking all this for granted. The leaders, the military, they're just there. A lot of them die and they're not even properly, how they are buried, we do not know. So this issue, respect, as the commander-in-chief, you need to be around. You don't have any, you shouldn't give another person to represent you. You shouldn't allow another person to represent you in that case. All right, so that is the issue of the Army Remembrance Day. That is it. All right, next on the Daily Trust. Federal government warns states against peace deals with bandits. Federal government warns states against peace deal with bandits. And that is on the page 13. On the page 13 of the Daily Trust, federal government warns states against peace deals with bandits. I actually feel that they should start with, yes, most of the northern states, this is what they have been doing. Signing peace deal, releasing bandits, releasing them and sending them back into the society. That is not how it's supposed to be. So the Minister of Defense he has given a strong warning to the state government and also the communities. So he's saying that negotiating peace with bandits or paying ransom for kidnapped victims is not only discouraged, but it is counterproductive. And we've seen it over the time that honestly it is. It keeps happening. It's like you are aiding the kidnapping. You are aiding, because once you pay ransom for this person, the next minute another person is kidnapped and they are looking for ransom. But the solution is not asking the state government or the communities not to pay ransom, because you as a family member, you cannot want to lose your loved one in the hands of kidnappers because you are waiting for the government to come and rescue them. We've seen over time that it's very hard. It's mostly hard for the police, for the military to rescue these kidnapped victims. It's mostly hard. So the issue now is, what are the better ways that the federal government need to ensure that the kidnapped victims are rescued? Because even as I'm talking, a lot of persons are still under the hands of these kidnappers, these bandits, a lot of persons, and they are demanding ransom. And most times it feels like it's only until they receive that ransom really have trust in the security. People did not really believe that they are going to come and save one of our own. They are going to come and save our loved ones. So they are just doing everything possible to ensure that this person returns back safely. So the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, emphasized that actions like this strengthen the criminal networks and also encourage more kidnappings. And using Katsina State as an example, it clarified that peace initiatives and with armed group are deceptive and do not lead to lasting security. And we all agree to that. We do not support any negotiation with the bandits or the terrorists. We are totally against it, but then we are asking the government to do something so that at least when we see that they are really working in terms of the security, then we will not be pushed to pay ransom. We will not be pushed to make any deal with them. So peace deal is a no, but then the government should go to work. They really need to go to work. All right, so and still on the story, he warned that supplying bandits with food or other support is essentially blood money. In his words, feeding the very networks terrorizing communities. So we are against it. Yesterday I read where the Minister of Defense was giving a warning to Gumi and some of the other sympathizers of kidnappers and terrorists. So now it is more than that, having a peace deal with them. But you need to give us another alternative. Like I said, we wouldn't want to watch our loved one die in the hands of kidnappers. That is why you see family members running around just to ensure that these persons are back home. So they need to speed up their security activities, whatever it is that they are doing, they need to speed it up. And the thing is that this is not the first time, this warning like this is not the first time it has been given to states or communities. So maybe if you feel that it is not right, you might as well arrest those people involved in the peace deal. They are still the same government. It's still the same government. So the federal government needs to do better. I mean, for yesterday that was supposed to, with the president being around, let everybody know that there's something, at least give a speech to tell us that the national security, in remembrance of the armed forces, that you are doing your best to ensure that there's security in the country. The president was nowhere to be found. The president was not found. The president has not been around in the country since the beginning of this year. The president, I think the last time he gave a speech was during Christmas period. There was a Christmas address by the president, but we didn't receive any New Year address by the president. So he needs to come back and resume duty. He really needs to come back and do that, which he's supposed to do. All right, next, still on the Daily Trust, we see Atiku's son dumps APC for Atiku's son dumps PDP for APC. Atiku's son dumps PDP for APC. That is on the page 15 of the Daily Trust. Atiku's son dumps PDP for APC. One would have thought that he would go and follow his father, join the ADC, but currently is part of the APC, and he was accepted. He has been accepted by the party, and he has made his support for President Bola Tinubu re-election. He has declared his support for President Bola Tinubu's re-election, and his own father is going for high the seats of the presidency. So now, you know, in a country where it feels like these political seats are inherited, this one is kind of out of the norm. It's really out of the norm to see a son of an aspirant, someone that wants to go for, that's been continuously running for this seat for many years, supporting another person. But then what do they say? They say politics is a game of interest, right? So it's a thing of a choice. It's his own choice. He has made his decision. He has decided, this is the path I'm going to follow. So if he doesn't see any future with ADC, then that is okay for him. It's his decision, and the party is supporting him. The party is supporting him. So he put his son, build up his son to take position in Rivers State. So it feels like it's family stuff when it has to do with politics in Nigeria. You go to Delta State, you see Okowa and his daughter. And I heard that Okowa is returning for the senatorial seat, and also the daughter as well in 2027. So two of them will be on the ballot paper. So it feels like family inheritance passing down. Even when you get to Lagos, there's Tinubu and the son who is planning to go for Lagos State governorship. Yes, become the governor of Lagos State. So it's one thing that this one left the father to support another person. He left this father to support another person. So the role of all this personal alignment in political realignment is just the family ties between the father, son, father, daughter, and all that. It keeps going on in the country. So it's a good one that this one went to his own path. Yes, he found his own path and is moving ahead with that. Yes, this is Volt 104.3 FM, and you are listening to High Voltage, your weekday news analysis show, where we review and analyze the news. And this was the World Bank, IMF, says Nigeria's economy unstable yet. So at a recent Nigerian Economic Support Group, senior officials from the World Bank and IMF highlighted both progress and risk for the Nigerian economy. And they are telling us that it is yet unstable. I'm glad that they are coming out to tell us with their own mouths that the economy is not stable yet. Because our leaders, those in the ruling APC, have tried to tell us that the economy is stable. And we as citizens, we've been looking around to see the stable economy, and we've not seen it. Last year they kept ringing it. They kept trying to make us believe that, yes, the economy is stable. But then we buy things. We go to the market. We look around. There's nothing stable. Things have not become better. So now I'm so glad that the World Bank, the IMF have come out to tell us that Nigeria's economy is unstable. And although we didn't need them to tell us, we already knew that there's instability in the economy of the country. So they really need to find a way to stabilize the economy. They need to, because daily the exchange rate, it rises, it declines, it keeps rising. And so there's really something. They need to balance the economy. They need to balance it. So even the Minister of Finance was talking about the 152 trillion naira debt that the country is owing. That's a lot of money, and he's saying that it reflects exchange rate adjustments and previously unrecorded obligations, not new borrowing. But then remember that the federal government said that they were going to take loan this year to fund the 2026 budget. That's about the budget of about 52 trillion naira, I think so, if I'm not mistaken, that they're going to take loan to fund it and also get revenue from the country. That is why there's tax everywhere. They're taxing us everywhere. Yesterday, we read of the tax of the bank charges tax, 7.5% VAT, that they're going to be taking from the bank charges. So if your bank was collecting 100 naira for a transfer, it's not going to be 107.5%. So there's always a way that they're looking for every possible means to collect revenue in the country, taxing everyone. Meanwhile, they said that this is not the tax reform. The new tax law is to protect the poor. But we don't know about that. We don't know if it is there to protect the poor or not. When you say protecting the poor, is it when you get the tax, are you going to use it to feed the poor? So we do not understand yet how the new tax law is going to protect the poor. All right, that is what we have this morning on the Daily Trust newspaper. And you can join the conversation. Give us your reaction. What of the president during the Armed Forces Remembrance Day to the federal government warning the states and the communities against peace deals with bandits and paying ransom for the kidnappers. So the phone lines to call is 0706 048 5853. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You are welcome.
President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is not in the country to participate in Armed Forces Remembrance. It's not a news at all. It's not strange to me, and it's not a news, and it's not anything. It's absentee in this country has become a common phenomenon. So it's nothing, absolutely nothing. Then I also had you when you talk about people that they own entitlement, and according to you, they serve their country. Word of correction from my own point of view. They did not serve their country. They serve an abominable entity called Nigeria. If they say they serve their country for no way for their entitlement or wait until they demand for it.
Okay, so whether we like it or not, they serve the country. The problem is that the system is not working. That is, yes.
Listen to me, play me to get my phone. I never finish. You see, when you when I call, I always get any presenter. You see, when I say abominable entity, it's like somebody you as a female, you have a fish around you, maybe smoke one on Friday. And for you to, and the cat is around, for you to enter one of the room and come back, you will not see the fish again. The same thing is applied. You leave, you have a meat and dog is around, you enter one of the things, you will not come back to see it again. That is the simple truth. And again, on the security advisor talking,
the Minister of Defense.
We say that the security advisor talk. You know, talk like a little baby, little baby that is still learning, never to see the talk proper, maybe less than 3 years. That is how we talk. Because him himself, no seriousness, him himself, I don't catch my feelings. Giving a suspect to my own personal view, the suspect is that the left might into what him himself is talking to, so to say. Let them go and sit down. We are hoping on to God to, as a righteous God, to do the needful and in the world to be great. But for now, let's be managing the so-called country and the peace. But to me, Nigeria is abominable entity. That is why things are not working. We are everything equal.
Oh, we lost that call. Please do well to call back on 0706 048 5853. 0706 048 5853. Remember that you are listening to High Voltage on Volt 104.3 FM. And this is where we talk about the news and analyze the news. And if you have any reaction to make concerning the headlines that have been read to you that you've heard this morning, you can call in and let us know what you think. And also we are live on YouTube, on High Voltage News. Like, leave a comment and share the video so that others can be part of the conversation. So this morning we've talked about the absence of the president during the Army Remembrance Day, and also the president telling us that the army, they will not be forgotten. The fallen heroes will not be forgotten. But then, in response to that, we are also asking, what about those that are still living? What about those heroes that are still alive? What has the government done to support them, to really show us that these persons, to do it in remembrance of those who have lost their lives, to tell us that this person, we see a lot of old men, 80s, 90s, asking the government to pay their pension. So the system, we have a broken system in the country that really need to be fixed in every sector of the country. It needs to be fixed. And we are hoping that in no sooner time that is going to be fixed. And also we've talked about the Atiku's son, yes, who dumped PDP for APC. Atiku's son who dumped PDP for APC and declaring his support for President Tinubu's re-election, despite the fact that the father is also eyeing the seat of the presidency. So it's something like, I don't know if it has happened before in the country, but your son pulling out from your presidential race and going to support another person in a different party. All right, so also the Nigeria's economy being unstable, as reports from the World Bank and the IMF, who said that Nigeria's economy is unstable. All right, so your reactions on 0706 048 5853, and you can also drop a text message or a WhatsApp message, depending on what is convenient for you this morning. All right, let's move to another paper. And on this day newspaper, just like I said, Tinubu said, we will never forget those who sacrificed everything for our country. Tinubu says we will never forget those who sacrificed everything for our country. So what do you have to say for this? What do you have to say to what the president said, considering the fact that he was absent during their remembrance? What do you have to say about this? The leaders, are they really remembering? Are they really valuing the security agencies? Do they really value the army, the soldiers that we have in the country? Or they are being, these soldiers that are supposed to protect us, they are being led into frustration because they are not properly being taken care of. Because there's one thing, if you're really taking care of them, they will go to that war front with all their hearts, supporting the nation, fighting for the country. But then who fights with an hungry stomach? Who fights? Who has the strength to fight for the country when you are weak? So how the government really treats the security, the forces, really matters. It matters to them, it matters to the citizens, because we depend on them for our security. We depend on them for our safety. So if you do not do what you're supposed to do as a government, I don't know what you expect. Because with all the insecurity, this is the time we needed the president to be around. With the insecurity going on, we need him to be around, to be in the country. And he can send representatives to attend events outside the country while he's inside this place and doing what is governing the nation, not the other way around. We don't want to be hearing from him outside the country. He's telling us that the people that sacrificed everything for the country, that they will not be forgotten. Start from those who are alive, who are still here, fighting for us. So then the government really needs to do better at some of the things that they do. All right, so that is Again, on this day newspaper, we see article Sunday first to APC. Vows to mobilize for Tinubu's re-election. Article Sunday first to APC and vows to mobilize for Tinubu's re-election. So if you want to get more story on this, you can read it on the page 9 of this day newspaper. All right, moving on the Vanguard newspaper, we see Rivers Assembly fails to resume amid impeachment saga. Rivers Assembly fails to resume amid impeachment saga. Okay, so there's been, with all the cases of impeachment going on in Rivers State, they've not resumed hearing. They've not come for any sitting. So we don't know what is going on now. We don't know what is going on now then, because even the governor, those in the government house said that he has not been given any official notice. And we know that he's supposed to be given at least 7 days notice. 7-day notice, then investigation will go on for at least 3 months before impeaching him, finding out whether he's guilty of it or not guilty, and then knowing whether he's going to be impeached. But then they are yet to resume sitting. And I heard that there were threats. They were threatening the Speaker of the House of Assembly in Rivers State. They were threatening him. So I don't know if that is the reason why they have failed to resume their sitting, or if it has to do with something else. If it has to do with something else. We will go into the stories in Vanguard newspaper. But before we do that, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, of course, the phone lines are open. When we come back, we will take your reactions, and also we will continue with some of the headlines on the papers. Don't go anywhere. This is High Voltage on Volt 104.3 FM. Welcome back to High Voltage on Volt 104.3 FM. Yes, if you're just joining us, this is your weekday news analysis show where we review and analyze the news and also talk about issues affecting us as citizens of Nigeria, ranging from politics to education, health, security, and other topical stories making rounds in the country. Remember, you can join the conversation by calling in on 0706 048 5853, 0706 048 5853. And you can as well join us live on YouTube on High Voltage News. Like, comment, share the video for others to be part of the conversation. And please ensure that when you do call in, when you send a message, ensure that it is very clean and very civil, very clean and very civil, very important. All right, so back to the Vanguard newspaper. We saw that Rivers Assembly fails to resume amid impeachment saga, and that is on the page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. Rivers Assembly fails to resume amid impeachment saga. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, you're welcome. Your name and your location.
My name is Ejiofor. I'm calling from Ogun State.
All right, please go ahead.
About the story that I'm hearing from you.
Mm.
Any person that is not look up, you won't look happy this time around.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please continue. Okay, we lost that call. Do want to call back on 0706 5853. All right, next story on the Vanguard. We see abducted doctor in Edo regains freedom after 50 million naira ransom. Abducted doctor in Edo regains freedom after 50 million naira ransom. And that is on the page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, let's take a look at this story. The kidnapped doctor in Edo State, Dr. Tahi Abu, whose brother was killed. Unfortunately, the brother was killed by the kidnappers as he has regained freedom from after his family paid a ransom of 50 million naira. So we see that is why I was talking about when the Minister of Defense was giving a warning to communities and to state governments not to pay ransom to kidnappers. Maybe there was no ransom for the brother, and as a result of that, he was killed. So that's why I say if the government will not intensify their efforts in releasing these kidnapped victims, in rescuing them, if they will not intensify their action, then families have no choice than to do their best to make sure that their loved ones are rescued. Now, 2 brothers abducted, 1 killed, and the other person was released after ransom was paid. Who knows what would have happened if the ransom was not paid? So why the government is giving us a warning, why the government is telling us to stop paying ransom and also to stop making peace deal, which I'm totally against making peace deal. We want to see other alternative. We want to see that the governments are doing their best. We really want to see that because we cannot sit back and relax. We can't sit back and relax when one of our own, our brother, our sister is in the hands of a kidnapper. We cannot sit back and relax. People will run around to get the money needed to rescue the person. So this is a very unfortunate story. I mean, 50 million naira, we don't know, who knows how they got the money. Because most times families of poor persons are also part of this person that they kidnapped. They kidnap, and you're asking a poor man to go and look for 50 million naira. How do you expect them to get the money? That is why we are asking, stop rehabilitating these kidnappers. They are heartless. They are so heartless. We take a call this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you are welcome. Your name and your location.
Okay, someone calling from Abuja.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay, in issue of kidnapping, the reason is that some of those people that are kidnapping, you can't see a local government chairman's son or wife or daughter or president son or that. So they don't kidnap those people with pharmacists and government workers. So that's why the government will tell you don't negotiate with them. But after everything, they did not show any effort in terms of this banditry. So at least they should make an effort. So sometimes when you pay ransom, they will still kill the person.
Yes.
Because of when you refuse to negotiate with them. So just like you just said, no one can afford to lose his loved one when that person is kidnapped. Then you will fold your hands waiting for government, which you know they are not even serious on taking care of their citizens. So president to fly there and fly in, fly out to other position. No one is caring. They always care for their own pocket, the money they will get. So the only thing is that anyone, because kidnapping have become a very big lucrative business in Nigeria now. So even some people are kidnapping themselves also to extract money from their family members. So I don't know what we are facing in this country. So may God help us. Because if we are for government, if we are working for government, I think we are still far away from rescuing this country. So, but the Lord God provide Moses for us that will lead us out of this predicament. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much for that. Yes, the truth remains that a lot of citizens have lost trust because we've seen little or nothing that the government has done in terms of this terrorism that we have been facing over the years. So telling us not to do this and not to do that, we are looking at you to know whether you are providing something better. Are you giving us a better alternative to the solution? So the issue of kidnapping, the government really needs to increase their efforts. They need to increase their efforts to ensure that more persons are rescued. Because go to the bushes, even when they have sent forest guards into those forests, into those bushes, more people are still there. Kidnapped victims. So you might not hear of it today. Tomorrow you hear that one person was kidnapped. And what are the efforts government to ensure that they rescue them, the federal government to ensure that they rescue them? So until we see these actions, then maybe, just maybe, many citizens will be taking the words of the leaders seriously. So they need to do better other than just coming out to tell us what to do or what not to do. We need to see their actions. We need to see that they truly care for the citizens. Yes, you've been listening to High Voltage on Volt 104.3 FM. Thank you for being part of the program. Because of time, this is where we are going to end it this morning. But remember that this is your weekday news analysis show, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So join us again on Monday by 9 a.m. for more of the news, more of the analysis, and more of your voices. And until then, have a wonderful weekend. My name is Odili.